So welcome to the very first episode of Big Moves this week. And today it's me and my good friend, business partner, and partner in crime, really, two of America's Most Wanted, Jake Kinder. How you doing, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, our goal is to bring you the news, bring your perspective, tell you what's happening. If you were like us out there gunning and didn't get to see all the things that were happening, we're going to tell you what the interesting things you should probably be paying attention to, not only for education, but also entertainment. So what's up, man? What's on the move this week? What you seen out there?
Oh, man, there's so much going on today, man. There's so much. We got NFTs, we got Bitcoin, we got Ethereum, we got MetaMask, we got all these things. How does it all come together? How you make money from it? That is the question.
That is the question. So let's talk a little bit about this big announcement that, for those of you that don't know, me and Jay are out here in Dorado, Puerto Rico. We get to make the beautiful loop, the Rockefeller loop. We get to go around in circles every morning and when we're not running, sometimes we're walking and we're getting to share. And you brought up to me about Gary Vee and what he dropped. So what was it called? Vee Friends?
Yeah, Vee Friends. Yeah. Yeah. The NFT that Gary Vee dropped. Super interesting.
So what is this? What is this Vee Friends? What do you think? And why is this relevant? And why should people even care?
Well, I think that, one of the things that Gary's always done a really good job of is kind of predicting what's coming. And, everybody's kind of heard of NFTs. I don't know how many people really understand them. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, but, his it's just it's a smart contract. It's a new way of doing business that is revolutionizing how we do everything in the future. And I think a lot of people don't understand it currently.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know what a smart contract, which are a digital representation in the blockchain. So anytime, one of the things that people don't understand about crypto, and we're not going to claim to be experts. I got into crypto probably back in 2017, had tons of miners, mined crypto. I remember being in the car, brother, when I first learned about it. And I was like, so you're telling me there's like a real money tree? Like you can just actually have a machine that makes money. But basically what it is it's going to make up a representation in the blockchain. And what it does is when it does that, it basically blocks it and it locks in whatever's inside of that chain, and it can't be changed. And so it becomes underneath all of that, it's a smart contract. And what a smart contract is, smart contracts aren't new. For those of you, they were developed, I believe, sometime I do have some notes here. Let me see. I didn't write that down, but they were developed at some point in the 90s. So the argument is a smart contract, a metaphor would be like a vending machine, right? You go to a vending machine, there's no third party. You put in your money, you get out. There's no middleman, right? And so one of the best metaphors that I heard was like Kickstarter. With Kickstarter, what you have is you have a product development team who wants to build a product, and then you have people who want to support that product. What Kickstarter does is in between is they act as the trusted party that helps facilitate. So if the product team never comes to product, the people who are the supporters know that they get their money back. Well, what Gary Vee has done is he has utilized these smart contracts in a creative way to bring awareness, because they are being used. Smart contracts are being used right now in New York and Manhattan to transfer property. And one of the reasons why, if you're in real estate, you should pay attention, and this was a big announcement, was they believe real estate is one of the first industries susceptible to these smart contracts for a number of reasons. One is because anytime you have new startup meets tech, that's like kind of a uncomfortable world for people. And so real estate is one of those tangible assets that people fundamentally understand, right? So it's not like something you don't understand. Right. You know what I mean? Yep. And so and this is what made a lot of sense, is they said, in a real estate transaction, you have a contract and you have these parties, and you have a lender, you have a real estate agent, and a lot of middlemen. And so you're able to now, at some point in the foreseeable future, do a contract with somebody and not have to have the third part. You don't have to have somebody transfer title. It's built into the contract, meaning once the deal's done, between me and you, I don't have to have a third-party title company. I don't have to have a third-party mortgage company who facilitates all the loan docs with all of that can be facilitated in a smart contract between me and another third party where we have trust. And if for some reason something did not happen, then we're protected, because one of the main things is they're immutable, meaning a smart contract can never change, right? Once it's written, it's written. And so, you can imagine different templates and getting familiar with how we are. I mean, we transact real estate transactions, but no one's the same. Prices are different, who pays for what, but we're super comfortable. You could have those type of templates built into real estate transactions where two parties are like, all right, I'll put my money up. But even like with, you still have to hope that the other person fulfills their end of the bargain. And with the smart contract, you don't.
Right. Yeah, it's super interesting. I mean, there's lots of ways to think about it too. I mean, I think like in the neighborhood here where prices are crazy, if you were doing a deal today and you want to do a smart contract and say, hey, I want to retain 10% from every sale moving forward forever. Now that's built into as a smart contract as a part of the deal. Now you own that piece of real estate, and every time it sells, you get paid. Right. So like there's some really interesting things that could change the way we sell real estate, the way we think of real estate, the way we think of holding real estate, all with these smart contracts.
Yeah, and here's the thing: the real truth in what Gary Vee's talking about is, and I think one of the arguments, and this is, I think, probably, I think that was the easiest way to explain what's going on within NFTs. I think a lot of people might think of digital art, different things, but underlining what we're pointing out is smart contracts. Why should you pay attention to them? The question is, what Gary Vee said was, does a blue check mark matter? This is what he really said. Does a blue check mark matter? Right.
Right.
And the argument is, he said, does what's that video game? Fortnite. He was like, does a Fortnite something that I guess a skin, I think is what he called it, but does a Fortnite skin matter? And then what he said was, does something in Roblox matter? A sheep, I believe he said. I'm not kidding you, dude. The Tooth Fairy pays my kids in Roblox. My kids yesterday both got $10 a piece in Roblox. They work, they exercise, they do everything and he says it matters to somebody.
Right. And
that's the point, is it matters to somebody. And so if a blue check matters to somebody, then there's some value, and basically that, we're all human beings. And so now we're in this digital social currency, as he referred to it as, where it's no different that when you buy a car or when you buy clothes, you might spend more money on a pair of shoes than somebody else, because to you it matters, and to some other people, maybe your mom don't care about your shoes, but maybe a girl or another guy will have envy or influence, or maybe something to somebody it might matter.
Yeah,
right?
I'll give you an example. So yesterday, this is funny. I didn't even tell you this. So yesterday I go up and the kids are all upstairs. Riggs, Cash, Crew, and Court are all upstairs. They're playing Roblox, and I said, "What are y'all doing?" And Cash said, "We're playing Roblox." I said, "Well, so what are you trying to accomplish?" He said, "The only objective right now is to get sunglasses for my llama." I was like, "Why do you want to get sunglasses for your llama?" He said, "Because we got a whole bunch of llamas, but we ain't got none with any sunglasses on." So to him, like, it was all about getting sunglasses for his llama, right? And and to the rest of the kids that are playing, you know what I'm saying, that may be valuable. And I think that's the point you're making, is like, it's no different than real shoes that you see in the world of NFTs and everything that's going on with Ethereum and the platform that's being built on. NBA Top Shots is another one. Like, you would think, hey, how many people are going to want to own an NBA moment and spend $100,000 for that, to own that? Well, if that was owned originally, like Gary Vee, when he had announced all his coins, he has some coins that in the blockchain, he was the first original owner. And the anticipation would be is that one's going to be worth, that token's going to be worth more money because Gary Vee actually owned that token, right? So if you have a celebrity that owns a token, then the value of that token goes up, tremendously. And so all of these things are starting to really take off, and it's just the very beginning, right? Like, there's horse racing. Like I was telling you earlier, there's an app I was just looking at a minute ago. It's called Zed Run, and a guy told me about it the other day. Again, built on Ethereum. It's built, if you go back to follow the money trail. It's built on the Ethereum platform. You have to use MetaMask in order to get access to it. But you buy racehorses, and you buy and sell racehorses, and you race these horses, and based on their lineage, what you pay for them, and who you race them against, your odds of winning. And you win money, real money, and people make offers to buy your horses. Decentraland is another one, where you can build, you can buy land. I mean, my neighbor was telling me about it last time I was in Texas, and he's like, "Yeah, have you heard of Decentraland?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you have to have MetaMask because MetaMask is the only way that you can transact on Ethereum, with Ethereum. It's not the only way; it's the main one, I think, or whatever." And so he's like, "Yeah, you gotta have MetaMask, and you have to put your Ethereum in MetaMask, and then you can you hook that up to Decentraland, and you go out and basically like what used to be Second Life, if the people, for those of you who've been around a while, and you can purchase land, and people make offers on that land. You can build a building on that land. You could literally build a sports card store inside of a building that you build on this land and sell things to people that they might want. If somebody wants to buy a Jordan rookie card, they could buy that from your store in Decentraland, and you would make digital currency. And so, I mean, it's absolutely crazy, but there's so many applications for it. It's just incredible, and it's fun to watch and try to keep up with where it's going.
Yeah. So like this, one of the things, this is what Jay got me into. This is a habit I don't recommend for those of you who want to see. This is a box. This is a box of football cards, and this, I want to bring this up because you had a great story that you shared with me the other day. So, but this is, you can tell a little bit about what this means. What's this mean, Jay?
BBC means it's certified. It's a certified unopened, unsearched box of 1987 Topps football cards.
What card could be in here?
Main card you're looking for in that box is a Bo Jackson rookie card.
And what's a Bo Jackson rookie? What's the most you paid for a Bo Jackson rookie card?
16 PSA 10, 1600.
Okay.
Is kind of what it's going for today.
Today.
Yeah.
And so
that can go up and it can go down.
It can go up and it can go down. And so, but the thing is what I want to point out is two things, because one of the things that I think is big right now is these YouTubers. And a lot of you might know, I've been investing a lot of my time, energy, and effort on YouTube. You're probably watching this video on YouTube. If you are and you like this video, make sure you hit like and subscribe, because we're going to be dropping content out like this, and turn on notifications. We drop new content every week, but we're going to be also dropping content weekly about what's happening and what are the big moves that are happening in real estate. So today we're going to talk a little bit about EXP earnings came out last week. We're going to share a little story that Jay learned after meeting Logan Paul, and I think he didn't give you his phone number.
Yeah, right out of the gate. Yeah. Super nice guy, like coolest dude ever.
But I want you to hold the powder on the box, his box strategy that you thought was brilliant. Remember? Right? Yeah. And then he's into NFTs, right? And he's in the neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
And then there was another big thing that happened this week. This Gary Vee, the friend thing that we're talking about here. You want to pay attention to those types of things, mainly just to be in the know, right? There's Peter Drucker says there's only two things that drive a business. What are they? You remember? Marketing and innovation, right? Those are the only two things that drive business, marketing and innovation. And this is, at the end of the day, this is innovation. There was a crypto guy who paid $69 million for an NFT. Pretty amazing. If you look at what Gary Vee's doing with his NFTs, which I think is really cool, is because these are smart contracts, he's actually tying these to live events. So if you actually do, let me give you an example. Let's say that you've been to a live event. Let's say you've been to a conference before. Imagine if when you went to that conference, at the end, we were in the conference business, Jay. Yep. So what do you do at every conference? You sell the next conference, right? So instead of having to sell the next conference, when people who go to conferences love conferences, there's two things that happen in his world. He's actually selling 3 conferences. You get to go to 3 conferences when you buy this. What?
Any coin, any Gary Vee coin that you purchase, automatically includes the next 3, what he's calling VCons. So every time you purchase a coin, you're automatically getting community. There's community. He's trying to build community around this. And so this is part of that is, hey, you're going to get to come to my next 3 events. Certain coins that you buy are going to give you access to meet and greets. Certain other coins will also include other things, and those coins are going to be more expensive. The more access and the more things that you get.
Yeah, because maybe you don't want to go to next year's,
right.
And so you can sell your right.
So yeah, it's fascinating. But what he's doing is bringing, he took his business model and brought it to smart contracts and how you could leverage NFTs to create community, and it was interesting to say the least. I mean, he has and he drew all the art pieces, which is it'll come across as really strange if it came across as really strange to me, anyways. But he's into art and he explains why and this and the other. He's got Grateful Gar, right? Like one of the coins is Grateful Gar you could buy or whatever, and so but they're all different art pieces, and there's only a certain number of them, and they sell for a certain amount, and your ability to resell those and potentially sell for profit. There's really an interesting dynamic to this whole thing.
Yeah. And so there's 10,000 of these things. So and they come with, I believe he said gift codes. So what happens is he's actually built in triggers into these smart contracts where you get physical gifts every single year, multiple gifts throughout the year. I believe he said there was over 200 gifts, but again, you can check my math or fact check that. I just remember that he said something about 200. Then he said that, you're going to get, I don't know how you get 200 gifts a year because there's only 365 days. So I could have misunderstood, but there was a certain amount of gifts that you're going to get in addition to, and so he was talking about, this was like blockchain meets, offline, he's trying to do something really innovative. And when he was on CNBC and he was asked, well, why are you doing this? And the main thing was he wanted to show the creativity and what can be put into these smart contracts. So anyway, that's kind of what he's up to. There's some videos online if you want to check it out. You can see some of the drawings. One of the other things, you're seeing a lot of things going on in the cards like we were talking about earlier. So why don't you share, you bumped into Logan, you gave him a referral on where to buy a Hummer. I guess I seen that. I think he bought a new one. He got a white one, I think, with the roof.
He got 2. He got a blue. He said he bought the blue one and the white one. So
gotcha. So he bought the same little Hummer deal that you had, but your son had some Pokemon cards, I guess, pretty big collection, and you started looking into how Logan is trading Pokemon cards. What's that about?
Yeah, so it was it's fascinating because I'm more into the sports and memorabilia pretty deep. So if that's you, like you're my people. So that's where I'm investing a lot in. And but Pokemon was kind of interesting. And since Logan lived in the neighborhood, I started kind of creeping on his profile a little bit, see like, all right, what's this dude up to? And then he did a live break, and it was brilliant because they basically opened up one of the original boxes of Pokemon and did a live break where they auction off spots for a pack. And so they sold these packs. He bought the box, I want to say, for $1 million. $1 million for this box of Pokemon cards, believe it or not. Then because of his celebrity status and understanding what it would mean for someone to own a Logan Paul, a pack that was bought through Logan Paul, they actually went and did a deal with PSA that they would PSA grade every card, and it was Logan Paul branded on the PSA label. So this is a known now, almost like a smart contract, but not. But he was leveraging the same way that we're going to do smart contracts and the way they can be done. He's doing the same thing with this live break. And they sold the packs for $40,000 a pack. He gave everybody that bought a pack the ability to give a shout out and a plug for the website. And so it was an opportunity for people to get in front of millions and millions and millions of people that look at Logan Paul's profile. And so they, $40,000 for a pack of cards is really expensive. Now, some of those cards could have been worth, several of them were worth $100,000 or whatever. And so there's an opportunity to make some money, but you also got to leverage his celebrity status to get whatever your mission or product or business is in front of his entire audience. And so, but he leveraged his entire brand and, you know, his interest of, you know, breaking down these boxes. He had a PSA representative on point there at his studio. It was it was brilliantly put together. If you you think you understand Logan Paul and Jake Paul, if you're just watching them as being entertained, these guys are brilliant. They're brilliant marketers, and what they're doing is never been done before. But they're doing it at a high level.
Well, the funny thing is me and Jay, let's talk a little bit about what's making all of this happen. And you mentioned it a little bit earlier. It's this Ethereum, which is a decentralized. So if you don't know the difference between, because Ethereum is what it allows people to get created. Like what he did could have been done in a smart contract, right? It could have been, you have to do a little bit. I mean, for other people who don't have his authority and influence, they're just a perfect stranger, right?
Right.
And so there's no value in the shout out, but maybe there's something built in. It sounds too good to be true. Someone could put some deal like that together where you bring in the celebrity. I mean, someone could facilitate that whole same thing and be in business doing those sorts of things, right?
Idea. That's a good one.
Yeah. And so, with what we're saying here is, and the reason I'm trying to point out the complexity in these contracts is that, with the smart contract, they're built on the decentralized Ethereum network. And here's the thing. If you want to, maybe you want to get into crypto, go check out, if you do, I'll put a link in the description. Go check out crypto.com. You can get a free $25 to be used with the link below. They'll give you $25 to open up an account. Jay and I both use it. The cool thing about it is if you put money into the crypto with them, they actually have different cards that pay you interest on your money. So you should check it out. That's why I looked at it. I looked at a bunch of different ones. Definitely not giving you investment advice, but if you are looking for a place to purchase some crypto, the cool thing about crypto.com is you can get some of those coins that you can't get on some of the other things like the Coinbases. But you can actually get crypto now on PayPal.
Yeah.
I bought some crypto on PayPal.
There's a handful you can buy Ethereum as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think to make it clear, I mean, again, not giving investment advice, but like if you look at all these smart contracts are being built currently on Ethereum. I believe there's a couple of competitors, Cardano and maybe a couple others that are trying to vie for that spot. But like the vast majority of everything is being built on Ethereum. And we're in the very beginning, which is what you see the run of whatever it is, 300+% this year with Ethereum is because this is not, hey, look what you could do. It's actually out there. Like you can literally go buy racehorses digitally now. Like these are things, the digital art was the kind of the very first wave, but it's coming in so many different industries across so many different platforms. It's being utilized in so many ways that Ethereum is clearly the front runner for anything with smart contracts.
Well, the thing about Ethereum, Jay, is it is the second largest crypto, and like I shared with you, for me personally, it's I really like it. I liked it. I've liked it for some time. So for me personally, that's something that I may or may not be getting more of.
Right.
A lot more of. Yeah. So, man, other big things happening this week is EXP, man, reported earnings this week. Any thoughts you want to share there?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the numbers on this, and it's just astounding, how fast this company is growing. Revenue's up year over year, 122%. Net income up 852%. I mean, are you kidding me? It's incredible. Net profit margin up 323%. Operating income up 600%. Net change in cash up 214%, sitting on $13.9 million. Cash on hand up 100. Cash on hand $100 million, up 149%. Just incredible growth, right? I mean, it's fun to be on the inside and see it grow. But I mean, I just don't think people. I mean, surely by now people get it. Like it is the only place to be if you're in real estate. There's just no question about it.
So with what do you think is driving the growth?
Business model. The
business model, and for those of, well, here's one of the things that I think is, we're at 50,000 agent milestone, right? That was probably a pretty big deal. When you're bringing on more here's my prediction. Let me just, here, I want to make one little prediction. Huh?
Gary, to give you the Gary Vee prediction.
Yeah. Here.
We look back on this.
Yeah.
3 years, Michael Reese said it.
Yep. This is my prediction. You're going to wish you had more Ethereum, but that's just a prediction. Could be right, could be wrong, but that's a prediction. But my prediction is that there's going to be other competitors that come into play. And what people will not realize is that those competitors, that there'll be people that come and try to do what EXP is doing.
Sure.
Right? You have Fathom, which is very similar but different. Yeah. And you'll have people that try to copy the model. But what I want to point out is there's something called the first movers advantage. And I really think this is important for people to understand, because I've been in a situation in my market in selling real estate in the coaching business when other real estate coaches weren't using email or they weren't using social media. It's a lot harder to catch up, right? And it's a lot harder to be successful. Usually, I would say the second person is usually somebody who probably is a little bit hurt that they didn't think of the idea, or that they thought of it late, or their ego kept them from coming over, but now they have a second chance to now they get it. Maybe they wouldn't want to say, well, I didn't get it before, even though I'd heard about it, but now I get it. And so now here's my opportunity. And listen, everybody's good for a Hail Mary. Those passes get caught, every once in a while. But the point that I'm trying to point out is that that's good for EXP. And the reason why is because there's a lot of franchise. This isn't a battle between the cloud-based brokerages. That's where that's like thinking about Lyft and Uber. I mean, Lyft and Uber are Lyft and Uber. They're battling the taxi business. Right. And so I think that, my narrative and the way that people will spin the narrative going forward is, as competitors come into the play and into the real estate market and taking advantage of what just is obvious, which you can't watch the fastest company with our market cap just grow and no smart person saying, hey, that's understood, right? With that being said, who's going to be hurt is the companies that have 100,000 and 150,000 agents now under a franchise model where every office is independently owned and operated, and they operate within a federal disclosure statement and numbers and are regulated at such a high level that they could not, the meetings and alignment of any type of change would be hard at any facet. And that business model is what's really being disrupted. Right. And it's just because, and so remember, like if a Chick-fil-A comes to your neighborhood, right, and you don't have a Chick-fil-A, that doesn't mean Chipotle is going to go out of business, right? Right. But it could hurt somebody who maybe has a brick and mortar fast food shop next door. Because if you're 5 miles up the road, that might not matter. But for people looking for convenience and they're sitting at which one do I turn, right or left? I used to get Wendy's, but hey, we can do Chick-fil-A. We're already here. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so my prediction is EXP will continue to grow. Competitors will come into the space, and people will create narratives around the competitor, not realizing that it's not the competitor. They're actually, where do you think those agents were 2 years ago when they weren't competitors? Right. They were at these brick and mortars. And really what's happening is the franchise business model that only gives opportunity to the select few who are at the right place at the right time is now being disrupted and creating opportunity for others.
Yeah. There's two things I want to point out from the competition standpoint. That's a great point you just made, that the competition isn't with EXP. The competition is they're just trying to pick up the lion's share of whatever they can that we're picking up from all the other franchise models, the broken models. But the two things that I know for a fact is operationally, in the beginning, we weren't at EXP. The first 5,000 agents that joined, we were in 46 or so states. I think that they had just passed the season of get your agents paid on time, having brokers that are, doing things the right way and being able to actually scale the business. And so being a new company, just getting started, there's going to be way more bumps in the road, way more challenges. It's going to be a lot harder for them to get to the point where they're actually scalable. So that's going to be the first thing. Operationally, it's going to be a nightmare. The second thing with any competitor that's out there is what truly makes, and I said business model, the answer earlier, that's the fundamentally the principle behind it. But what the business model has created is created a company of the top real estate agents on the planet that have already came to EXP. And you can't recreate that environment in a new company. Right. And so, even if they're going to sell on EXP story, which is exactly what they're going to do, they're going to be like, look over here, what EXP did. You should come join us to get in early. And that's probably alluring, but the reality is you can't recreate the culture and environment of the top real estate agents on the planet that are the ones that are adding value back to the business model and helping the agents and helping agents that partner with them and that whole ecosystem. You can't recreate that piece. And so, it's going to be more difficult for them to grow than it will be for us to continue to grow, I would say.
Yeah. And it's going to be really hard for the people who don't have any of the value proposition. I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? The value proposition, what you offer in exchange for what people pay. Right. Every brokerage, whether it's no split or a flat fee, they're paying for something. I want to take this. What do you think? I do have a question for you because it's big news, big week, and talking about big news. I know this whole Mayweather. I do want your opinion. Mayweather, Jake Paul, right? So they getting a little. They're there. Is this a promotion of the fight? Are we seeing WWE play out, or is there a real beef there? Because they banned him from all future events. Now that could just have been. You think they really organized and got together and said, "Okay, have."
I thought about this, right? So I'm like, at this level, whenever Mayweather entertained this joke of a fight, in my mind, it's Floyd Mayweather undefeated versus Logan Paul, which arguably, I mean, he's way bigger. I mean, he could get caught. You know what I'm saying? Anybody could get caught. If he could land a glove on Mayweather, which is not easy to do, he might knock him out. I mean, it could happen.
What would happen if he did? Honestly, if Logan Paul on June 6th knocks out Floyd Mayweather,
I can't even imagine.
What would happen?
I don't even know. I don't even know how to evaluate what would happen. Like what we know is going to happen is, of the top 10 boxing matches of all time in terms of the amount of money that was raised. Or that was, through the pay-per-view. Number 3 was it Logan? I can't remember if it was Logan or Jake, but it was one of theirs. And then the last one, Askren and Jake Paul was number 10. And so it was Logan's other fight that was ranked way up there. But anyways, that's significant. They're making significant money. Hundreds of millions of dollars are made in these fights. And so they're going to, I think what we saw was WWE. We saw, not a real beef, but a manufactured beef, sell the fight, which I don't think, going back and looking at like McGregor versus Mayfield, I don't know that they choreographed that, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't think that Floyd Mayweather knew he was going to travel to 3 places, go on stage, and Conor McGregor was going to get up and run his mouth, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
They knew that was happening. They knew They knew what they were supposed to do. And Conor was just the best in the world at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody better than talking trash than Conor McGregor. And so he sold the hell out of that fight. And and I think a lot of people believe that Conor could have beat him. And he did put up a pretty good fight. You know what I'm saying? And so that was it. That was entertainment. This is the whole Triller thing is just, I mean, it's a way they're monetizing their fame is what they're doing. I don't know if it's real fighting. I don't know if you could call it that. But it's interesting to watch from a marketing perspective, not so much from a fighting perspective, but from a marketing perspective, watching how they navigate these waters to sell a fight that I think everybody on the planet knows that Logan probably doesn't have a chance in.
Dang. Well, what? I mean, who do you think has more? Out of the top 10 pay-per-views right now, top 10 pay-per-views ever in history, who do you think has more fights in the top 10? Conor McGregor or Mayweather?
Mayweather for sure, hands down.
So let me give you a little. So the
Mayweather Pacquiao's number one. Probably.
It is Mayweather Pacquiao is number one.
Probably Mayweather. I can't remember the other guy's name. Starts with a C. No, I don't remember. Probably another couple. I mean, there's a couple of good Mayweather fights.
So number 2 pay-per-view of all time, right? So Mayweather's number 1. Number 2 of all time is Conor and Khabib.
Conor Khabib, yeah.
Yep. And then number 3, this is interesting. So number 3, now number 4 is Oscar. Where's 3? Oh, Khabib was Conor. I'm sorry. Number 2 was Floyd and Conor.
Floyd and Conor.
Yeah,
number
so
2.
it's 2 and 3. So Conor's in 2 and 3.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Floyd's in 1 and 2.
Right.
And then but when you get into number 5, you have Floyd. Neither of them are in number 6. Neither of them are in number 7. But then you have Nate Diaz and Conor in number 8.
Right.
Right? And then you have Conor and Dustin Poirier, UFC 257 in number 9. Wow. So now Conor's winning in number 10. So it's Conor.
Right. Wow.
Conor has 4 in the top 10. Conor has 10. 4 in the top 10.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah. No wonder. I mean, and so that the case for, like, first of all,
Jake Paul wants to fight Conor.
Well, he should, yeah.
And then he's going to fight Logan. You think the brothers will ever fight?
Yeah, well, everybody would pay money for that.
Huh?
Everybody would pay money for that.
Who would
That's
win?
the fight I would want to. I mean, I'm guessing Jake. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It seems like, and I don't know these guys personally, but they seem like, it seems like Jake's a little bit more of the hardcore, a little bit of an asshole, and then Logan's more the chill, nice dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That's just the demeanor I get from them. Probably both great guys, but. I don't know. I mean, they don't. What's interesting is they never talk about it. At least maybe nothing that I've seen where they've ever talked about it. But at some point, if they turned on each other, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if this is true WWE and you really want to make another $50 million, you get pissed off at each other. You sell that fight. You hopefully win a couple fights here. You know what I'm saying? So your record looks good. And it looks like a good fight. And then you sell the brother against brother fight.
Yeah, I think I think that they're gonna make a lot of money.
They're gonna make a truckload of money.
Yeah.
They're gonna make a truckload of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they live right in between me and you.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably like right in between.
Literally right in the middle.
All right. So last thing I think we need to talk about, we can't leave out the old Dogecoin. They're accepting Dogecoin for Mark Cuban is for all of the Maverick tickets. So you get you any of that little joke of a currency that's did you see how much money like $1,000 would have made you?
I mean, I saw him talking about it and pumping it, and then I just never dreamed it would have did what it did. And I don't know. I just when you're going to invest in cryptocurrency, you want to have some kind of a good reason why, and I just can't find it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like hope is the strategy with Dogecoin. I don't understand it.
So what do you? What do you think? I mean, do you think it's going to continue to go up? Give me the prediction. Why is Elon Musk? Why is Elon Musk big on it? Elon said that he'd buy out. So for those of you that don't know, Elon said he would buy out. He would pay fair market value for the Dogecoin owned. Oh, and with Ethereum, am I pronouncing that?
Ethereum, I think.
Ethereum, they're doing the new thing that's going to have the burn, which that's a huge thing. So they're going to be, right now, every time there's a transaction in the ledger, there's a commission paid to the person doing the transaction. And that money, they're going to start burning, which is basically their way of creating, as the currency transacts more, there'll be more burn than there is new created, and it'll create a balance inside. It's pretty.
It fights inflation, right?
Yeah, it was announced, and the guy who was talking about, I guess they're going to do it. I don't know the exact naming convention for what they're doing that under, but anyway, that was a big announcement that came out. And Dogecoin, I mean, obviously you got Elon Musk saying, "Hey, listen, I'll pay dollar for dollar to the top guys who own it, because in order to make this the currency of the future, we can't have so much it be so much of it being one or two people's purses, so to speak. And so what do you think, is it just for Elon always had, like they asked him why he made the rocket, the shape of the rocket. They said, is that like necessary? He's like, no, but I wanted it to look like he always does stuff off of like weird sci-fi movies to be funny, even down to his naming. He's got a little sense of humor.
Right. Yeah. I think, I don't know. I mean, maybe it was an experiment. Who knows? You know what I mean? But like, it definitely created enough buzz that Dogecoin went crazy. And then Cuban talking about it. Of course, Cuban and his daughter or maybe his son, they bought some Dogecoin, you know what I'm saying? And it's going up like crazy. And so you start, I feel like there's a little bit of, they hope, they want it to continue to go up, right? And like, we're going to create it, you can buy all the Mavs stuff using Dogecoin and all their, their ETF, NFT things that they're creating for the Mavericks, you can buy with Dogecoin. That he's trying to pump that coin. That's sure, that's great. I just don't know if that's enough to make it continue to go up when it's going up as much as it has.
Well, the one thing is you saw, when Tesla bought all that Bitcoin, and then when they reported earnings, I mean, they did pretty well on that Bitcoin investment. Put $1 billion in Bitcoin.
Yeah, they did.
So I don't know. I think if Elon's up to it, and Logan Paul. No, I'm joking.
No, you should pay attention.
You should pay attention.
Yeah.
All right, that's what's in the news this week. Welcome to the first weekly episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Appreciate you, Jay.
Yes, sir.
See you at the top or
on the top.
Or at the beach.
Or at the beach.